Good evening, everyone. We want to welcome you here to Springdale High School for tonight's spring concert for Lakeside Junior High School. I'm Michael Shepard. I'm the principal at Lakeside, and it's always fun to see a full house for the spring concert, which is always packed with some really fun music that our kids really enjoy playing and our directors really enjoy directing. So before we get started, I just want to give a couple of thank yous. First of all, a thank you to Springdale High School for hosting us for this event. It's always great to be here in this theater and be able to be here. And a thank you to Mr. Brent Mitchell at Sonora Middle School, who is a great partner to our band program, to Mr. Gary Brown, the assistant director here at Springdale High School. One special thank you that I want to give is to Mr. Russell Robinson, who is retiring this year after a long career in the band and who has really done phenomenal things for the band program in the Springdale district. This will be the final spring junior high concert that Mr. Robinson will be in an official capacity, though I would not be surprised at all to see him around. And so we give, I think, actually Russell's back here on the stage, so we give him a round of applause. And by that same, in that same regard, I also want to, on behalf of the administration at Lakeside, give a special thank you to Miss Lori Robinson, who, if you don't know her face, if you don't know her name, then you certainly know her face because she is everywhere. She gives countless hours to the band programs, both at George and at Lakeside and at Springdale High School, and is always there, usually behind the scenes, but usually doing some incredibly important job, some incredibly important role. Miss Lori Robinson is standing back there in the back. Can we give her a round of applause also? So we appreciate you being here tonight. This is a special night for our band programs. You see there's lots of awards. Our band got to experience some special accolades and recognitions this weekend at Worlds of Fun, and I'm sure Mr. Shelby will be talking about that in a little bit as well. And so congratulations. I haven't said personally congratulations to our bands for going and representing Lakeside and also having some fun, but also representing us very, very well. So let me at this time turn it over to the director of our concert band, Miss Amy Hinkson.
Hi, thank you. I am Amy Hinkson. I'm the director of this band. We've had a great spring semester. We did extremely well at concert contest. We got a excellent rating and then a superior rating in sight reading. But I'm really proud of this group and the growth they have made this year. Our first conductor is actually going to be Jonathan Turner. He is our student intern for these past 10 weeks. And this is his last week to be with us, and he has done an outstanding job. He will be graduating this Friday, and then we'll be looking for a job. So if you need a band director, let him know. He has been a great positive spirit for these kids and will do extremely well wherever he lands. So here to conduct Celtic Air and Dance is Jonathan Turner. I'll speak next time. Hold. All right, we're gonna hand out some awards. We'll do a little bit now and a little bit after the next piece. Let's do most improved. They might be in the back row. Let's do 8th and 9th. All right, this is our most improved woodwind, and this is 8th grade. We gave 8th and 9th grade. We tried to give a lot of awards this year because we like to. So this goes out to a student who has just done, she started in my band, when we split, she moved down to varsity, and now she's improving her sound and musicianship, and she played a solo for solo and ensemble. So this year's most improved woodwind is Jennifer Escobar. Our most improved woodwind 9th grader is a student who started as on clarinet in 8th grade, and we decided to move her, and with her decision too, she moved to bass clarinet and has really been quite a rock star on there for us. So the most improved woodwind 9th grader is Taylor Sizemore. Our most improved percussion, 8th grade, is another student who started in my band in the fall and then moved down to varsity band for a while, really improved his skills. That band always, when any student goes to that band, they usually leapfrog concert band because they have to play. And so this student, he's doing extremely well now, and that would be Christopher Elcar. Most improved 9th grade percussion. This student came to us her 8th grade year. She had only played string instruments, and so she said, I guess I'll try percussion. And she's been working hard. She's had to come in at lunch a lot to have lessons with me, but she has improved tremendously from a beginner, essentially, in 8th grade to now. So the most improved percussion 9th grade is Michaela Sykes. And the last category is the most improved brass, 8th grade, and this student has, she came to my band in the spring. She started in the symphonic band, and she came to my band in the spring and has really done an outstanding job leading the tuba section. So the most improved 8th grade is Ellie Cunningham. And then our most improved brass 9th grade is a student who in 8th grade, I barely knew if she spoke, and she kind of was just very quiet and kind of played her second trumpet part. And then now she's playing first part, she speaks, and so she's doing a fantastic job. So our most improved 9th grade is Yanette Favela. And then our last one, I kind of was at Kansas City, and we had already ordered these awards, and I thought, oh man, I should have picked this person too, because she has done a great job. And again, we would love to give out awards. If we could just give out one to everybody, we would. So this one gets an honorable mention because, again, I wish I would have thought of her name when I did. This is a most improved woodwind, and her 8th grade year, she tried out for one of the bands, and we had a serious discussion about if she was going to continue on in band, and if she was, she needed to practice a whole lot more. And she kind of nodded her head, and we went on. And now she is doing a fantastic job leading our clarinet section, so somehow something caught fire, and so this goes to Violetta Milan Garcia. And before I forget, I always forget. Every time Mr. Shelby comes out here, he thanks me, and I go, oh yeah. So I always forget to thank him, but I do want to thank him for all of his help this year. I always joke with him that we've been working for 4 years together, and we don't hate each other, or we're still friends, so we must be doing something right. But he is a great person to work with and for, and I can't thank him enough for all he has done for me and this program and what he does for all the Lakeside Band kids. So thank you to Chris Shelby. And then we will now continue on with Mr. Turner and Contra Dance. All right, more awards. Now we're doing Outstanding Musician. So our Outstanding Brass, 8th grade, is a student who, at the beginning of the year, he started in the marching band. And anytime a student comes from the marching band to my band, sometimes they don't like that. And so they have a little chip on their shoulder. But this one has done extremely well, been a leader with the trumpets. And I do have to tell on him, though, he has forgotten his music the last 2 concerts. So I don't know if I should give him this. No, I'm just kidding. So our Outstanding Brass, 8th grade, is Daniel Bejarano. And then our Outstanding Brass, 9th grade, again, a student who came from marching band to my band, and he played in my band actually last year as well. And then I was sad to lose him and then happy to get him back. And he has just done an outstanding job. He's those kids you want in all of your classes. He asks great, thoughtful questions in class. So our Outstanding Brass, 9th grade, is Daniel Fuentes. All right, our Outstanding Woodwind, 8th grade. I had her in class in 7th grade, and she has gone from, she went to the marching band in the fall and then came back to me in the spring, and she has done an excellent job leading our flutes, and she's very quiet too, but she gets her job done. And our Outstanding Woodwind 8th is Emily Wilson. Our Outstanding Woodwind 9th grade is another student who came to me in the spring, and I had him in class last year as well in my band, and he's again, a quiet leader. And those are the type we say, you can lead, it doesn't matter what chair you are, you can be a quiet leader. And he does that, he has all his stuff ready to go. And so our outstanding woodwind ninth is Tyler Meyer. All right, our outstanding percussion 8th grade. I had this student as a 7th grader, and then she moved away, and then she came back, and she's done, again, not that I just pick all the quiet kids, but she really just does exactly what I ask. I'm always like, hey, who can cover this part? She volunteers, or I volunteer her, and she never, bats an eye. She just gets over there and takes care of the part if somebody's missing that day. So our outstanding percussionist, 8th grade is Vicklin Ring. And then our outstanding percussion 9th grade, this student, I kind of gotten to know him a little bit more this year. He was in my band all last year as well, but he's again quiet and hard to get to know. It's a boy, so they don't usually like to talk about their feelings or talk. So this year though, he has really just decided to help out whenever he can. If I need the truck loaded, he's there. If I need percussion moved, he's there. And he's just done an outstanding job for us this year. So our outstanding percussion 9th grade is Zach Ross. All right, we will finish our portion of this concert. I'm going to conduct one more, the Beyond the Seven Hills, and then we'll do a quick transition to get Symphonic Band up here. So thank you again for coming out and supporting your students, and we will finish our portion now. Thanks. I did forget to add one thing about this group, and that is that during our Kansas City trip, we performed and we were going to get division ratings like we did for concert contest. And we got a little nervous when all day there had been Division Twos were being handed out, which is good, but we're always, of course, striving for the Division One. Well, this band received 3 Division Ones that day, so we were one of 4 bands out of the whole day Saturday, which they had bands from 8 o'clock to 8 o'clock. We were one of 4 bands that got 3 Division Ones. So give this group another round of applause. All right, we're going to figure out the transition here to get this group on and that group off, and we'll be back shortly.
Don't sit down.
Good evening. Here's the second part of our concert. On stage is the Lakeside Symphonic Band. This group meets third period. I'd like to thank you so much for coming and staying. Sonora, if you hung around, I know it's been a long evening, but thank you you get to see your future right here. We're going to start off with a piece called Terminal Velocity. This next piece is a fugue, which in music is a melodic rhythmic line, and it starts, and then it kind of modulates out, and somebody else takes it, changes keys a lot. If you're familiar, Bach, things like that. It's a classical music thing. And this piece is neat because they took a melody from Lady Gaga and they made a fugue out of it. So the kids got to play Lady Gaga. It's Bad Romance, you'll hear it. And they got to learn about the fugue, all right? This may be the hardest thing that they play today, which is awesome because I don't direct it. We'll have a guest conductor for this one. And it is someone whom I would like to publicly thank, Miss Amy Hinkson. This has been a tough year for me personally and my family, and she has had to step in and take care of all these kids in front of you several times when I was unable to do so. And I can't think of anyone else I would rather trust with these kids. Band directors are pretty territorial at times, and you get your band and they're your kids, you get to know them really well. Sharing music every day with the same people is an emotional experience. And so to let somebody else come in and work with your band, you really have to let go and let them do that. She's a phenomenal teacher, hard worker, and I am very proud to introduce, for the Lady Gaga fugue, my coworker, Miss Amy Hinkson. Okay, one of the things that we take very seriously in Springdale is the growth of the individual musician. Back in January, we had all-region auditions at George Junior High School, and we had 16 members of this band make the all-region band. When we talked to you about, in sixth grade, when your child's trying out for seventh grade band, we mentioned college scholarships. That all-region's the ticket. And I'd like to recognize these kids, as well as we had two students make all-region junior high jazz band. So if you hear your name, stand up. So our first one is Austin Thrush, oboe. He was also a first band, first chair. He was the top oboe player in our region. Annette Castillo, clarinet. Aaron Estep, clarinet. He was also all-region jazz piano. Karen Gonzalez, clarinet. Wendy Gonzalez, clarinet. Jonathan Mendez, clarinet. Araceli Nahara, clarinet. And this would be a smart time for me to go ahead and mention how much we are grateful for Miss Angel Malden, who came in and worked with our clarinets. She's standing in the back. Thank you, Miss Malden. Dylan Borgia, he made all-region jazz band. Adon Garcia, tenor sax. Matthew Arnold, bari sax. Madeline Calkins, contrabass clarinet. Patrick Rasumi, French horn. Timmy Dung Champa, trumpet. Timmy D. Emmy Anthony, euphonium. Daniel Perez Resendez, tuba. Ian Whitaker on tuba. And Tachua Pedro on percussion. If you give them a round of applause. Let me do some awards real quick. Let me grab them. Okay, this is our Outstanding Woodwind 8th Grader Award. This young man is a heck of a player, and we've learned to get along this semester, this year. Yes? I'm doing most outstanding, sorry. This is most outstanding. This is the one in my hand. I'm going to do most outstanding because it's the one I'm holding. He's done a great job this year. He stepped up. He plays all of his parts. He's covering some second and third clarinet parts because he's such a big sounding player. He takes a joke better than anybody in the band, and that's a good thing because he handles it well. He does a good job. So our Outstanding Woodwind 8th grade player goes to clarinetist Aaron Estep. This one's Most Improved 8th Grade Woodwind. This goes to a young man who moved up from the concert band to the symphonic band at semester and has certainly held his own. He's just done a great job for us, and we are hoping to keep him next year. So our Outstanding Woodwind 8th grade player goes to clarinetist Jonathan Mendez. So our Most Improved Woodwind 9th grade player. She was in this band last year as an 8th grader, but she struggled a bit, hanging in there, trying to play her parts, but she made it. And then this year she moved up, and she's our first chair flute player. And at our festival of music we went to in Kansas City, two of the judges both commented on what a wonderful flute soloist we had, and she's certainly done a great job. She comes in all the time and practices. She asks questions. She never leaves me alone. And the Outstanding Woodwind 9th grader is Nova King. Our Most Improved Percussion 8th grader goes to a guy whom at the beginning of the year I wasn't sure he was going to make it. And tonight, even tonight, he doesn't have his music. So I'm still not sure if he's going to make it. But he's made it much further than I thought he would. He's a heck of a player. We're looking forward to having him in the marching band next year. And his growth as a musician this semester has been fantastic. So our Most Improved Percussion 8th grader goes to Maverick Stephen. Most improved percussion for ninth grade goes to a child whom at the beginning of this year would not speak to me, hardly. I don't think I'm scary, but I think she thought I was scary. And it took a long time, and she plays timpani on one of the pieces that you're going to hear us play a little later. And we had one of those moments in band where she was just going to have to play the part, and she wasn't playing the part, and I wanted her to play it louder, and it was never loud enough. And anyway, finally she came up, and we had a conversation about it, and she got it there, and she's turned into a heck of a player. I'm so happy she's been in this band this year. And so the most improved percussionist goes to ninth grader Natalie Morris. Most improved eighth grader, this is brass, goes to a young man who moved from concert band to symphonic band at semester. He is in a section that, since this school opened, has not been strong yet. And this is the first year it's been strong, and I'm incredibly excited about it. The band already knows who I'm talking about. But he's come in as an eighth grader, worked really hard, helped lead this section. And so our most improved brass eighth grader is trombone player Rudy Pedroza. And our most improved brass player is a ninth grade tuba player. And I'm going to miss this guy, which is good because last year I wouldn't have missed him. He and I went round and round. He walked up to me the day of a performance. I don't have my uniform. I don't have my shoes. I don't have my this. I'm like, dude. But he's made all region on tuba. He's a fantastic player. He's leading in the section. He's just doing a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does up here as a Springdale High School Bulldog. And our most improved brass player goes to a ninth grade tuba player, Daniel Perez Resendez. On every spring concert, we try to play a song that's more of a concert contest piece, more serious. And this is ours. It's a slower piece called Salvation is Created. And it's above our head, and we're okay with that because that's what we do. And they've worked really hard to try to get it ready. This is a piece that a lot of high school bands wouldn't try. And they wanted to try it, and we're going to give it a shot. So this is Salvation is Created. Time for some more awards. Outstanding would win ninth grade. It goes to a guy. There's some kids that you just know that when they leave, the band will just feel different. Not better, not worse, but just going to feel a lot different. And he and I have had a good relationship for the last couple of years, and he's a heck of a player. And our outstanding woodwind player goes to a guy I'm going to miss a lot, ninth grader, Austin Thrush. If there was a stud clarinet player, this lady is one of them. We're going to miss her a lot. There's not a whole lot to say because she's just so quiet. I think she's spoken about 3 sentences to me in 2 years. She's always smiling. She's very pleasant about it, but she's just, no, you're not getting anything. Sorry, buddy. But she's solid as a rock. Our outstanding woodwind ninth grader goes to our first chair clarinet player, Wendy Gonzalez. This guy's come a long way this year. He's here tonight, and that's a win. And heck of a player. I'm looking forward to seeing his growth. And I'm just looking forward to seeing how he turns out as a ninth grader because he's come a long way this year. So our outstanding percussionist goes to eighth grader, David Cortina. We actually have several percussionists that could have gotten this award in the ninth graders. But there's a young lady in the percussion section. She quietly goes about her business. She plays everything. If she can't play it, she'll be the first one in the band room, just working quietly, figuring it out. She wants to be perfect. And our outstanding percussionist for ninth grade goes to Tachua Pedro. Outstanding brass eighth grader. This young lady she's a great player already. She's only going to get better. She's incredibly outgoing, and I'm looking forward to seeing how she is playing next year here at Lakeside. Our outstanding brass eighth grader goes to trombonist Emily Daniel. One of the sections that has been strong at Lakeside in the 4 years we've been in existence has been our euphoniums. And this young lady is probably the strongest of all the euphonium players we have ever had. And I am stinking excited to see what she's going to do up here at Springdale High School. They're getting the gym. Our outstanding brass ninth grader is Emmy Anthony. Okay, one of the groups that I'm incredibly proud of at Lakeside, when we started Lakeside, we wanted to have a parent organization that was invested and wanted to help just grow the band, grow these kids, and I think we've done that. We've had some great parents come through. This year's these boosters were no different, and all of the band boosters need a round of applause. So if you were, hold on, I did that backwards. If you helped us with anything this year, whether it's serving for football games or helping at the car wash, would you stand up? Any of the parents that helped out? If you give them a round of applause. Thank you, boosters. One of the things I just don't like doing is I hate the uniform part. Getting the kids measured and in uniforms, it's always driven me nuts. I'm not very good at it. Like, kid will walk up and be like, I give him a uniform 3 sizes too big. Like, does it fit? I'm like, I guess so. It's the right color. I don't know. These parents come in, they help with that. They get all sorts of donations. The taco dinner that we put on a couple of weeks ago, almost all of that was donated. We didn't have to buy it, so everything we made went straight to these kids in this band program, which is really what we're all about. And I would like to invite our booster president this year and her husband, Nicole Cheravino and Tom Bauman, to come on up. These two have been, like, if she's the right-hand lady, they take care of everything else. They keep me in line. And, for the Kansas City trip we took, they took care of all the instruments, getting them down there. They get trailers for us. They take care of uniforms. They help organize every single thing we do that's not music-related. They have worked this out so that Miss Hinkson and I really just get to focus on the music on stage. And we're very sad. I'm very glad that we got to know them, but I'm very sad that now they're leaving. That's kind of how it works in the junior high. But we got a card and some flowers and a token appreciation to you all. Thank you for all your work this year.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have had the opportunity to work with this program for the past 2 years. First off, we would like to say thank you to Mr. Shelby, Ms. Hinkson, and their fellow colleagues for their patience and dedication to this program. So if you would, join us in a round of applause to those two. Secondly, we had so many sponsors, but we want to thank all of our local sponsors for the donations and contributions that they have given us. It's made our program and events a very good success this year. I'd also like to recognize our fellow booster parents that donated items, money, or their valuable time for games, concerts, and fundraising activities. All the hard work put in by everybody has helped ensure the success of our band program. Lastly, I'd like to thank all the kids for their hard work and dedication this year. As parents, we are very proud of the accomplishments that each and every one of you have made, and we look forward to your continued growth and success in the musical arts program. Thank you.
All right, this next piece is one we've only rehearsed about 4 or 5 times, but they really like it. And you can tell that because in junior high, anytime you call up a song they don't like, they always go, oh, and you can hear it. If you call up something they do like, you hear, yes. So even if they don't like it, they just love this one. So hopefully we get through it. This is Counterbalance. All right, one of the things we like to do at our last concert is let you see all the ninth graders. They've done a lot of work for us. So we're gonna call their name and just come up, and ninth graders will just come up and go all the way to the end and then just work your way back this way, okay? So call your name and come up. Walthy Anib, Emmy Anthony. Come on, come on. We talked about this until you actually do it in person. Matthew Arnold, Jonathan Bernal, Jesse Boatwright, Dylan Borgia, Brandon Bustillo, Madeline Calkins, Daniel Candle, Alexis Carter, Colton Crouch, Brenda Cruz, Timmy Dung Champa, Yanette Favela, Autumn Francis, Daniel Fuentes, Jorge Gallegos, Adon Garcia, Summer Garner, Anthony Gomez, Christopher Gomez, Ray Gonzalez, Calvin Gonzalez, Karen Gonzalez, Wendy Gonzalez, Spencer Harden, Mackenzie Henson, Eric Hernandez, Carlos Hernandez, Lindsay Jata, Salvador Jorge, Narintha Katwan, Nova King, Raven Cratch, Kevin Lara, Sebastian Lacone, Edgar Lopez, Madison Maddox, Autumn Main, Braden McKenna, Ublester Mendez, Jasmine Mendez Calderon, Tyler Meyer, Violetta Milan Garcia, Mariah Moore, Natalie Morris, Araceli Nahara, Patricia Navarro, Tatua Pedro, Daniel Perez Resendez, Justin Presser, you can scoot over, they know what I look like. Sebastian Rankin, Patrick Rasfami, Tanner Roach, Giovanni Rodriguez, Zach Ross, Alejandra Salazar, Nick Sanchez, Taylor Schrum, Jatavia Seegers, Michaela Sykes, Kevin Silva, Taylor Sizemore, Austin Thrush, Isaiah Vera, Caitlin Webb. Ninth graders, did I miss anybody? Sweet. While they're standing up here, the cool thing about our school still being as new as it is that every class leaves its mark. And this class, when they started in 7th grade, we were fighting through some growing pains, and their 7th grade year, they didn't get quite as much time as we wanted with them. And so we were a little concerned. We thought, oh my gosh, this is the class, we're in trouble, we're in trouble. But they got up here, and as 8th graders, they worked hard. As 9th graders, they worked even harder. And without a doubt, in the 4 years that Lakeside has been open, they have led the best bands that we have had. So, without any more from me, if you would show them your appreciation as we send them off to Springdale High School. All right, y'all can sit down. Before we play our last song, there are several people I need to thank. What you see in front of you, the hard work of these kids, it's not just from me and Mrs. Hinkson. There are a lot of people that play a part in why the Springdale bands are what they are. I'd like to thank Dr. Jim Rollins and the entire downtown administrative staff. Without them, yes, round of applause. Dr. Rollins has created a culture of excellence in the arts in his time in Springdale, and being in the Springdale Band program is something that you carry with you for the rest of your life, and that's because of his leadership. I'd like to thank Dr. Shepard and the Lakeside faculty and staff. I can't think of a finer principal or a group of teachers to work with. If you would like to see wonderful men and women teachers teaching your kids, helping grow them up, loving them, please come to Lakeside anytime and check out the band room, a social studies classroom, science, math, or English. It's getting done there. I'd like to thank, and I try not to tell stories too much. I mean, the kids will tell you that that's a lie, because I tell stories probably more than I should. But there is a man who's very important to me, and without his guidance growing up, I wouldn't be standing here. And I know that Dr. Shepard kind of stole my thunder and already did this. But when a little sixth grade version of myself went into the central band room, I met Russell Robinson, and he was the assistant director at Central Junior High at the time. And I came and wanted to play the trombone really badly. I love the trombone. I still think the trombone is one of the coolest instruments made. Yeah, love you, Clay. And Mr. Robinson let me try the trombone, and it was okay. I mean, I would have been all right. I think I'd have been really good, but he didn't believe me. But he said, here, try this. And he gave me a tuba mouthpiece and said, here, buzz on that. And kind of went, oh, that sounds good. I didn't know what it was. And so he then put a tuba in front of me, and I saw the tuba, and I was like, oh, gross, I don't want to play that. And he said, no, just try it. And I tried it. And the sound that came out, I didn't know, but it was apparently very good. And he goes, you should play this. And I was like, no. I want to play the trombone. He goes, no, play this instrument. This is the right instrument for you. And I went ahead and played the tuba. And went into 7th grade, and all I wanted to do was impress him with my tuba playing. And then in 8th grade, made all region. He was there for I only had him as a teacher really my band director for the 7th grade. I was never in his bands after that, but he was always available for lessons. I could say, hey, can I stay after for half an hour? You bet, stay after, I'll work with you. And then 9th grade, he came to the high school, so I had a year without him. And then we got to the high school, and having him here was such a security blanket for a junior high kid coming to high school. And he helped me grow as a tuba player. He knew before I knew that I wanted to be a band director and tried to guide me that way even when I fought him. He gave me advice, life advice, even when I didn't want it, but he was always right. And when I finally got out of school, I was so honored to get to work in Springdale. And I didn't really work with him at first because I was on the other side of town. And then 4 years ago, he trusted me to take over the brand new Lakeside Junior High School. And that was a huge leap of faith. I'd never done the head band director thing before. And he's guided a lot of things for me. He's always there to talk. And he has done things for the Springdale Band program. He's done more than we'll ever know. And I hope that one day, he needs a statue, I'm just saying. So without any further me talking before I start to cry, Mr. Robinson, would you stand up so we can honor you? Other people that helped this group, Mr. Gary Brown, the Associate Director of Band, sitting right next to Mr. Robinson. All the kids know Mr. Brown. All of this starts in 7th grade. We sign them up in 6th grade, they start in 7th grade. In Springdale, we actually start band a year later than a lot of other schools, so we're kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit. And so that 7th grade year is the most important year in the growth of our students. And Mr. Brent Mitchell, I don't know if he's still here, but Mr. Mitchell does a wonderful job heading up the Sonora Middle School department, and I would like to thank Dr. Dodson as well for helping send us some great players when they get to the junior high. And again, Ms. Hinkson, whom I already thanked earlier. I'd like to thank the parents. Without your support, without you letting them stay after until 5:30, without you bringing them to the band room at 5:45 or 6 o'clock on a Saturday morning, we don't have a band to go to Kansas City. I know I had to set about 5 alarms for me to even get out of bed. And it helps when there's a newborn in there because she tends to wake us up anyway. But your support of what these kids are doing is what keeps it going. And the support, arts is so important in these children's education, and they're growing up. It helps make them well-rounded. So thank you for that. The last group I want to thank are, without a doubt, the most important. And that's these young men and women sitting here on the stage or down here in these chairs. I mentioned earlier this was a rough year for me. Back in December, I lost my father. And he was my dad and my best friend, but he was also, and my mom's best friend too. I just want to make sure I put that out there. Love you, Mom. But especially when it came to music, I mean, I played in bands with him. He was a bass player, I'm a guitar player. We spent a lot of time together. And when he died unexpectedly, he was in great health. And I was afraid, it happened over Christmas break, and I was afraid that when I came back to work, I wouldn't be able to like music anymore. I know that sounds silly, but to lose someone like that, I was afraid it took it out of me. And I came back the first day I got back, and I stood up in front of this group on stage, and I told them what had happened, and let's just get to work. And they did, and they worked hard, and they were fun, and they listened, and they did everything they were supposed to do, and they were, without a doubt, the most incredible group of young people I've ever stood in front of. And I know that band directors say this all the time, this is the best band I've ever had. That's just something we say. But these kids helped kind of restore my faith in myself to do this job. And I would like it if the parents and everyone in this audience, if you could give all of these kids a round of applause for all of the hard work and everything they have done all year long. Okay, this last piece we played at the Worlds of Fun Festival in Kansas City. We also played this at our concert assessment. Back in March, we received a 1 on stage. We also received a 1 at Worlds of Fun at their Festival of Music. A lot of times these festivals can be, you go in, it's just everybody gets a good score and everybody's happy, go ride roller coasters. This was a little tougher. The judges were handing out 2s and 3s to the point where Ms. Hinkstein looked at the scores and we were kind of like, oh my gosh, these guys are for real. And the judges, and so we didn't tell the kids that, of course, And they went in there, and the concert band got a 1 and did a great job. This group also got a 1, and they got great comments from the judges. And one of the coolest things that's happened up to this point, and keep in mind in Springdale, we're not about the trophy. It's about how we just keep growing, and if the trophies happen, if the 1s happen, then that's kind of a byproduct of great learning and great effort. But it is nice every so often to get the skittle that we talked about. And they went, and Ms. Hinkson and I stayed for the award ceremony, and in their division, they were awarded first place amongst all the bands that played that day. So if you would give them a round of applause for that. So, we're about done. We're going to finish up with a piece called Angelic Festival. And I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. I want to thank Miss Robinson for taking pictures. She's always out there somewhere. I can see you. I see you. And I want to thank all of your support for everything these young people are doing. All right, so this is Angelic Festival, and when it's done, you're free to leave.